Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yesterday, someone shared in my group that I made, I think back like in 2016, called Al Munaqashat. They are discussions basically in the Shafi'i madhab. And someone in this group uh, brought over like an article or what seems to be a few paragraphs put together. We'll call it an article for now. And he's presenting a discussion, a little bit like an argument, where he's saying that the Shafi'iyya are a different ideology altogether from a Shafi'i himself. He says that if you look through the books of the Shafi'iyya and compare it with things that Imam Shafii said in books like Al you'll notice that there's a complete opposition between the two. Now he brings an example, but I'm going to leave the discussion of this example to another recording. I just want to focus on the premise, okay, and the conclusion that they're coming up with. He goes on to say, if you look at these later mutun, that they're in, that they live in a complete different reality than what Shafi'i himself brought forth. And if we really mean to follow Shafi'i, then following this mutun is not the way, yada yada yada, etc., etc., etc. And شنشنة نعرفها من أغزم, basically. And for those of you who do not know that phrase, شنشنة نعرفها من أغزم, it means, or it comes from a story where young man, when he was a child, his parents died, and he lived with his grandparents, and he was really bad, Jamil, and then his son did the same thing, and I might have lost track exactly what the story was about, but bottom line is that pain in the neck son does the same exact thing as his father did. So they say to him, yeah, this nonsense that you're doing, we know it from Aghzam, basically your father, etc. Something to that effect. Need more coffee. So bottom line is, what we're seeing, what we're witnessing, right, is so many different attempts, polar opposite really at the end of the day, but so many attempts to dismantle the school. We've seen attempts at basically saying Al-Rafi' and the Nawawi are worthless, we shouldn't even bother with them. We've seen attempts saying that Nawawi is worthless, we should follow Al-Rafi'i, and Ibn Hajar al-Haytham is worthless, we should follow Makhrama. Here's the funny thing. The people that are saying these things, they don't even know what Makhrama said. They don't even know why Makhrama and Ibn Hajar had a little discussion going on. And I can summarize it for you right now in a heartbeat, right? This is the thing. Makhrama and others were in Hajj, and there was this discussion going on about very, very detailed issues in Hayd, right? So some of them gather around with Ibn Hajar. Ibn Hajar gives an answer, but Makhrama is not convinced with it, and he's saying, this is ridiculous, a child wouldn't say this. Ibn Hajar responds, as he usually does, by saying, and some nice people had an issue, this was their statement, this is my response. They respond like, oh, again, another childish response from, and this is the kind of stuff where, you don't really quote again. It dies with them. You're not supposed to repeat these kind of things because they're human after all, But people come and take little words like Ibn Makhrama saying, you shouldn't take from Ibn Hajar. Oh, see? Ibn Makhrama, who was more knowledgeable than Ibn Hajar, he said this. Okay, and what do you want? That's not how you pick mu'tamad. Picking whoever, the individual who's going to be the final say in what is the standardized opinion in the school has nothing to do with how much knowledge they have. Could be just based on their research that they did. That their overall research was so accurate that they're a good spot to stand on when it comes to standardizing the madhab. That's it. That's all. Not only that, there's a high probability, and all of the Shafi'iyah say this, that yes, Ibn Makhrama might be more knowledgeable than Ibn Hajar. But your first issue is you don't even have the books of Ibn Makhrama to have a legacy to continue on, to standardize based upon what he said. Kalam Jameel. However, Al-Haytami, he was more thorough and accurate in presenting the masail. And that you can base your standardization on. But these people have no idea what they're talking about. All right. And then you have others that just come and say all of the mutaakhireen are this and that. They did not even pay attention to kutub al-mutaqaddimin. It's not really the case. I've said this a million times. That's not true. That is very, very not true. They don't care. Right? And because they lack the basic elementary skills to read books like Ibn Hajar's Tuhfa and Ramli's Nihaya, right, that they don't actually get what's being said. Because Ibn Hajar, he has a way to summarize 7 discussions with 2 words. Now, if you know the discussions, because that's what fiqh is, right? It's a dialogue. It's a living dialogue through a group of people. That's what a madhab is. All right. A Shafi'i might have initiated it, okay, and then the following scholars, they continue it. But if you can't read it, you don't know the discussions, you're going to look at Ibn Hajar like, this is nonsense. I don't even know what he's trying to say. Of course you don't. Of course you don't. Because it's not on your level. You're not going to understand it, you know. And you have some of these people come and say, oh, I've mastered the Rawda. Oh, I've mastered it. No, you did not. No, you did not. I could say for a fact you did not. But they have the audacity to come and they want to use ill words with people like Ibn Hajar and An-Nawawi, so on and so forth. The madhab is not built upon only what Shafi'i said. He's the initiator, as I said, of the discussions. But he's not the finalizer of these discussions. In other words, the discussions continue to live on. Jameel. Now, there are many that are, khalas, yani, it's already handled, it's done, we know what's what, khalas. Jameel. But it's not only about with what Shafi'i said. It needs to be reviewed. It needs to be edited. Shafi'i is human. He's not ma'soom. He's not a prophet, right? So there needs to be editing that will take place. Discussions that will take place. Jameel. And that is Imam Shafi'i's madhab. Because he initiated these discussions and these arguments. Wallahu a'lam.